Hello, and welcome back to Capital Country Busways, here at the Edgware garage in northwest London, which is home to Country North and Capital Northwest. There's Edgware. It's in the London area, but it's part country, part capital, because it's right on the edge. This is sort of the edge of... oh no, the edge of Greater London's like up here or something, but, you know, it's the edge of the sort of contiguous urban area where it is. So as such, we have country buses and we have capital buses. But the plan for today is to do what we meant to do last week, which is to inaugurate the 306 and 309. The 306 running from New Barnet to St Albans via High Barnet, Chipping Barnet, Barnet Gate, Boreham Wood, Shenley and London Coney. The 309 running from Edgware to Southgate via Elstree, Boreham Wood, Arkley, Chipping Barnet, High Barnet and New Barnet. So these will have, I think they have a combined vehicle requirement of 23. So for them I will be buying a 28 to cover the excess. Double-deckers. They are part of the country fleet, and we will be using these things. Wright StreetDeck Electroliners. I was going to use some Enviro 400 EVs, but I was like, you know what, that's boring. Let's use these. The reason why I put type there is you can see this here. The YD type also has buses that are specific to a certain route. So that allows me to put the same thing in brackets so that they appear next to each other in the list. So there you go. But yeah, this is the WD type. Stands for Wright Deck, which is inspired, I know. But naturally I have a livery, and I think it suits the Electroliner down to the ground. It's such a nice shape. I like Wright bodywork. I think it's beautiful. So there you go, there's our first 10. Then I'm going to buy 10 more. Shocking, I know. You never guess how many I'm going to buy after this. There you go. And then I need to buy 6 more, because we're buying 26 of these buses. There we go. Import repaint. Wright Decker type Edgware. And they are arriving. Or they have arrived. Oh look. Ooh! That's just put a thing on its destination display. That's fun. 381 to Potter's Bar Bus Garage. And off it goes again. Bye bye. Those Zataros, they really do put in the mileage for us. But they work, so, you know, who's complaining? So these are not going to be the first StreetDeck Electroliners. Those are going to be down with Capital somewhere. Haven't really decided where. I just know that these aren't going to be the first. So, are these going to be with Capital, or are they going to be with somewhere on the south coast? That's a good shout. Somewhere on the south coast would be very fun. Maybe the first one's a Bournemouth Uni? Who knows? Either way, this is going to be WD25 rather than WD1. So first one is going to be WD25 rather than WD1. And these are going to be LX... These are going to be LX72. Like very, very early street decks. Very, very early Electroliners. LX72... CRA. CTA. Here we go. Now I'm just going to go and... Nope, that's not what I wanted to have in the clipboard. Please hold. Technical issues with my brain. Edgware. Fleet number WD26. So yeah, before I go into the jump cut where I get all of these plated up, I should say the StreetDeck Electroliner, to my knowledge, is not publicly released yet. It did actually leak a while ago, which is very disappointing. Yeah, a revised version of it has been put back up for, like, you know, as like a internal testing in my little group. So yeah, I will not be leaking it, so don't even go there. The electrolyner's already been leaked once. I don't want it to happen again, and even less so at my hand. So yes, I just wanted to put it out there that yes, this is the StreetDeck Electroliner, and it has not been released publicly yet. It will be ready when it is ready. But on that note, I will bring you back when we have all 26 of these plated up. And finally, we have LX72 CUC, better known as WD50. There we go. All 26 of our not quite new anymore Wright StreetDeck Electroliners ready to enter service on the 306 and 309. So I'm going to run through their timetables and make sure that they're all activated, and I will bring you back when we have something to look at on those routes. And it is now time to join WD25, better known to the DVLA as LX72 CTA, on the first 306 from St Albans down to New Barnet. So, starting at St Albans City Station, we run across the northern side of the city centre, as it is, because St Albans is a city, not a town. Down onto St Peter Street, the main drag, which is absolutely teeming with buses. And heading down towards, I actually don't know what's next. Well, St Albans Abbey next. There's the Abbey itself. The Abbey station is just a little bit down there. Should be able to see it actually. Where will it be? There it is. There's St Albans Abbey station. 4 trains to Watford. We were already late coming out of St Albans, that's great. But we're now coming past, I think this is St Julian's? I think it's St Julian's. Yeah, St Julian's. I saw a 74 there. Now along the North Orbital Road, which is a good fast run. And the performance has absolutely tanked for a few seconds there, but it's fine, it's back to normal if you looked away. And we're a little bit late coming down through Shenleybury. Well, that wouldn't have been Shenleybury, this is Shenleybury. What would that have been? That would have been... Bear with. That would have been Park Street. No, it wouldn't have been. It would have been the other side of London Coney. Either way, we're now passing through Shenley. And we're 3 minutes late. That's not great. Now through Shenley, though, we are entering Boreham Wood. So hopefully we're not going to be late at Boreham Wood Station. Or, you know, if we are late, we will have made time up. But there's a 389 Boreham Wood to Shenley. Via a... What was the hospital called? Kingsley Green? Yeah, Kingsley Green Hospital. Which is a bit of a backwater, but it's fine. And 1 minute late out of Elstree and Boreham Wood Station, which is fine. Very, very busy bus, which is nice to see. Back up to 3 minutes late for some reason. These electroliners, they are not impressing, because the 309's also late. Oh well. We are following a 308, which itself is late. Wow, there's a lot of buses. Three buses at once. That is the joke. That is the bus meme. I've accidentally made it, but it's fine. The 306 goes this way. Not that it counts for much, because there's that 308, and we are now playing Leapfrog with that 309. I really should have sorted out these timetables so that they wouldn't do that in Barnet, but oh well. Now the 308's going, not 308, 309's going that way. We're just following the 308 now. Oh, just kidding, there's the 309. But again, it's fine, the 309 terminates at New Barnet Station. No, it doesn't. The 306 does. The 309 continues on to Southgate. And rather than waiting for one, I'm going to head down to Southgate and try and pick a 309. There we are. So this is going to be the 1735 309 from Southgate to Edgware via Barnet and Boreham Wood. So again, we are just following the 298, which heads up to Potter's Bar, but of course we diverge very soon after leaving Southgate. And we're heading through, is it Osage? Osage Library. What a name. Passing through, I actually have no idea where this is. East Barnet. Everything's Barnet around here. Everything's Barnet. Why can't we have more interesting names, people? Seriously. But next, we have New Barnet Sainsbury's, and there we are. Past New Barnet Station, and then on our own little route to, well, that's High Barnet Station. Which route goes this way? Why is it red? Why is there a red route that way? It's not the 284, because that goes that way. Why is there a red route that way? Unless the 309's red. I'm so confused. I'm going to have to look at that in a bit. But we're passing... we're avoiding Barnet Hospital and running down towards Arkley and onto Boreham Wood. There we go. There's a, where's that, a 308 and a 306, almost playing Leapfrog. And I can follow this now. I can follow this. We are coming in sort of on the main drag through Boreham Wood. This is Elstree Way. And I assume that these are all the television studios. Which is very fun. Because it means that somewhere in there, I think, is where they film EastEnders. Catch me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But either way, Elstree Studios, very cool. Anywho. Now we're in Elstree itself. Elstree is just a little village. The studios are actually in Boreham Wood, but I guess Elstree just sounds nicer, so they use the name Elstree when they mean Boreham Wood. The railway station doesn't help because it's Elstree and Boreham Wood. But now we're heading down the main drag into Edgware with a 182 very close in tow, which is very nice. 182 being worked by a BYD BD11, which is very, very nice to see. I like those BD11s more than I should. Because again, they're not the best looking buses, but they do look decent, and they look really good with the National Busways livery, because I am graphic designer extraordinaire. Anywho, that's what I've been meaning to do for quite a while. Now, it's time to give some love to Luton and Dunstable by putting new routes in Hemel Hempstead and St Albans. So we are going to have the... hang on, let me check what's free in the 360s. Oh yes, one was going to be the 361, one was going to be the 362. I think it was going to be 361 from Hemel Hempstead to Luton via Redburn, Flamstead, Markyate and Slip End. And then the 362 Dunstable to St Albans via Markyate, Flamstead and Redbourne. I don't know exactly where these are going to run from. I might do Watford for now, or I could run them out of Luton and Dunstable, like out of Luton Garage, which would make a lot of sense. But they will be electric routes. Maybe these will run out of Hemel Hempstead. I like that. So yes, first one is going to be the 361 from Hemel to Luton. There we go. So, Hemel Hempstead, we're going to start. Hang on, let me find Hemel Hempstead on the map. So yes, we want to start. So we're a north-facing route first of all. I want it to start on let's see, it looks like the Marlowe's is two-way, which is useful. I'm going to start it oh no, wait, these stops are the pavilion. So I'm actually going to have the pavilion stand 1. There we go. And we're going to come out like that, and we're going to run through the Old Town. Then we're going to run up through Belgate, past St Paul's. No, that's not what I wanted to do at all. I wanted to go this way. And we are going to go this way then. Then we're going to go this way. And now we're basically out of Hemel Hempstead. So post me if you don't mind. And there is the 361 from Hemel Hempstead to Luton via Redbourne, Flamstead, Markyate and Slip End. So these two routes, 361 and 362, are going to form a bit of an X shape, with the 362 running from Dunstable straight down through to Markyate, Flamstead, Redbourne and then into St Albans. So, with that in mind, I'm going to get the timetable for this made, and I will see you when we have something to look at in regards to a timetable. And the timetable for the 361 is now complete, running up to every half hour during the week and every hour on Sundays. And it will interwork with another service to come in the future. yeah, it'll interwork with another service in the future, which will be probably I'm probably going to number it the 365 or something. And it'll run from Hemel Hempstead over to Welwyn Garden City via, via Redbourne, Harpenden, Wheathampstead, and Lemsford. So, yeah, that's that idea. This route is going to run with some, I think they're YMs? Yeah, YMs, which are Yutong E10s. This route will need 5, so we will buy for this route 6. But the first thing I need to do is check that everything is all in order here, and it seems to be. Wonderful. We'll confirm that, and we will not activate it because we don't have the depot for this route yet. Which means we have nowhere near enough money for this route. Yeah. Well, maybe we activate them from Watford first then. Yeah, I'll get around to that. Next is going to be the 362 from St Albans up to Dunstable. So let's activate this, or let's make a standard bus route, and I need to work out where in Dunstable I'm even going to terminate this thing. Because we don't have all of Dunstable. In fact, we basically have to just beyond the intersection, so unless it goes to Dunstable Asda or something. Which could work. Or we could do Dunstable Retail Park, which would be, you know, just off of the, I think I'll do the Asda. So yes, this will be the 362 from St Albans to Dunstable. There we go. The main route, excluding the busway, the main route between Luton and Dunstable, i.e. via the old roads, is going to be the 160, which is how all the 60s tie in. Just to make that clear. So, I can go from either end of St Peter's Street, because I can go either this way or I can go that way. I think I'm going to go this way. So, that means I want to come from the top end of St Peter's Street. So let's use stand 3 at St Albans City Station, and let's head up this way. Put a waypoint on the roundabout because I know it gets a bit funny. And then come down this way, and then across. We're going to stop at Verulam House, but not there. There we go. Then we're going to stop at Folly Lane. Then at there. And then post me, if you don't mind. Whoa, that was a really bad intonation. Post me, if you don't mind. And the 362 is now in place between St Albans and Dunstable via Verulam, Redbourne, Flamstead and Markyate. This is a much more direct looking route, and it appears to be significantly quicker as well, which is nice. Although I suspect that it will also need 5 buses, which is fine. 5 is alright, 5 is good. But of course we'll only be able to know that when I have a timetable to look at. So I'll see you when we have a timetable to look at. And we now have a timetable for the 362 from St Albans to Dunstable, running every 30 minutes during the week and every hour on Sundays, but because it is marginally quicker than the 361, it is a significantly more shaky 4 vehicle requirement rather than the very, very comfortable 5 that we have on the 361. But a win is a win, and I will allocate this to Watford for now. Eventually we will get the Two Waters garage put in Hemel Hempstead, which is down there in real life, so that's where I'm going to put it. The Two Waters garage. But that's not for now. What is for now is one more route from Hemel Hempstead, which will run close to the alignment of the 361, but it'll run from Hemel Hempstead station through the town centre, then up this way, before running slightly differently through Redburn, and then into Harpenden through Hatching Green, and then heading out of Harpenden one of the ways. I can't remember. I think it's this way. Either way, we want to end up in Wheathampstead. So we could just avoid Harpenden altogether, just go through Hatching Green, or I could do like a weird, almost loop of Harpenden, or like a really long way through Harpenden, because these roads just are not connected. Like, even here they're not connected. They're only connected here. So I could do that, but that would be weird, but I think that is the best way to do it. So that's the way I'm going to do it. That is going to be the 365 from Hemel Hempstead to Welwyn Garden City via Harpenden. And again, my ability to set up a time lapse way before I actually need to, again, showing no bounds. But anywho, without any further delay, this is the 365 from Hemel Hempstead to Welwyn. I'm not going to try put the full Garden City because Hemel Hempstead is such a long name. But yes, this is going to be Hemel Hempstead Station, stand 1. Hemel Hempstead Station, stand 1. And post me, if you don't mind. the 365 is now in place between Hemel Hempstead and Welwyn Garden City. It's quite a long route. It's 20 miles each way, but it is a very good connection between, like, across the top of Hertfordshire. Well, not really top, across the middle of Hertfordshire. You know, the 325 also does this. I'm just grabbing that symbol there so that I can use it for Hemel Hempstead Station. You might have seen there at the end that we have an extra stop here to terminate, so that on Sundays it terminates in Hemel Hempstead Town Centre to enable the interworking between the 365 and the 361 to run without too many problems. This is going to run up to every half hour during the week and every hour on Sundays, and of course on Sundays it will be interworked with the 361. So, I will bring you back when we have something to look at on the 365 in terms of its timetable. And the 365 is now in place between Hemel Hempstead and Welwyn Garden City, running up to every half hour during the week and every hour on Sundays, interworked with the 361 on a Sunday. Because it's such a long journey, the last run on a Sunday only runs as far as Hemel Hempstead Town Centre, rather than all the way into the station. And it uses an A-B format rather than a core and extra format for the timetabling, just because that worked out a little bit better this time round. The way that an A-B format works, as opposed to a core extra, is that a core and extra layout has the first bus and the last bus both contained on the layer that I call core, and that layer runs at the basic frequency of the route. Then on top of it is a smaller layer called extra, which does not have either the first or the last bus. It just contains the buses that fill in the gaps during the busier part of the day to get the frequency up. The way an A and B works is the A timetable includes the first bus but finishes earlier, while the B format includes the last bus but finishes later, or but starts later. And in this case, the 2325 is part of outbound B. As you can see, it runs every hour. The last bus is 2325. Last bus before on the inbound B is 2225, whereas the last bus on inbound A is 2155. If that all makes sense, and actually I'm going to take an hour off that. There we go. This is going to need 7 Yutong E10s, so I'm going to be buying 8 for this route, and 12 for the other... No, not 12. I should be able to get away with 10 for the other route. Just about. And 8 for this one. So we're going to initially allocate this to Watford. We'll activate it later. The first routes I'm going to activate, though, are the 361 and 362. They're the main ones that I want to activate this week. So let's activate those. And then I will see you in the paint shop with the Yutong E10. And this is the YM type. I did this kind of on the spur of the moment, so this is the Stevenage version of the repaint, but there will be a 2 waters version of the repaint in future. But for now, I just want to get the type on the move, and I've decided that I'm just going to be activating the 361 and 362 today. We can do the 365 another time. So that means I just need to buy 12 buses. This is the first 10. And then I need 2 more. So, I'm going to pop up to Stevenage for a quick second, just to see where I'm at with those. So I'm up to some, there's some 25 plate ones, up to YM69. Nice. So, popping down to Watford, These are going to be 75 plates, and they're going to be, I want to say 77 and onwards. Maybe there was a small batch delivered somewhere. Or maybe 81 or something. Let's start from YM85. There we go. But first, capital country. Watford. For now. YM85. These are going to be KX75. TWA. For TW for two waters. And I will get the rest of these done in a happy little jump cut. And finally, we have YM96, better known to the DVLA as KX75TWM. Based at Watford for now, they will be moving in time to the Two Waters garage in Hemel Hempstead. But for now, I need to get these people, to get these buses doing things with a bus route, or doing things with bus routes. So let's start with the 361, make sure that it wants the YM type. Indeed it does. Then we will go to the 362 and make sure that it also wants the YM type, which it currently doesn't. So, YM type. Perfect. Confirm that. And head back to the garage, and therefore the shift scheduler. There we go. Very nice. And we have enough buses, which is very good. Oh, it's the very evening, that's why. Yeah. So, both these buses, these Yutong E10s and these U11DDs are going to Two Waters when we put it in, but that will be in a little bit. Probably not this week, maybe next week, who knows. But yeah, for now, I'm going to just see which one we get to see first. I think it's the 361. Well, they both start at the same time. And they're both starting from Luton / I think they're both going to be starting from the Luton-Dunstable end. So I'm going to zoom in here, and I will bring you back when we have something to look at on the 361 and 362. And it is now time to join KX75TWJ on the 362 from Dunstable to St Albans via Redbourne. This is the faster of the two routes into Luton-Dunstable that we put in today, requiring 4 buses to run every half hour, but only just. I think it has 2 minutes of break at St Albans and 1 minute or 2 minutes at all at St Albans and 1 minute at Dunstable. So it's the 362 is a tight ship, but hopefully it's not going to suffer too much from that. We will see. We will see. We seem to be doing alright in terms of loadings, heading into Markyate. Although as to whether or not Markyate will see any further routes, that's going to be for the future. Maybe it gets something to Dunstable. Not Dunstable, it's got 362 for that. It's also got the 361 for Luton, but it may have service towards Chorle End and Caddington, which is sort of in the middle of Luton and Dunstable, but to the south. And it could be the end for that service to, say, Luton, Dunstable and Caddington. But anywho, we're now in Redbourne, which is an absolute mess of everything. Because I was a bit stupid when I was putting in the 365, but that's fine. We're using these 10-metre buses, so it's not too bad. We could be using E12s or E-Staros, which would not have coped very nicely with the squiggliness through Redbourne on the 365, but this is the 361, which might have done very well out of Sataros, but we're not using those. We are using the E10s. And we're now in St Albans city centre, so I'm going to leave it there. Didn't do too badly for a nighttime run for the very first run. This is the 361 from Hemel Hempstead to Luton. Leaving a very nicely timed departure there, right pretty much as we zoom in on it. Heading out through the Old Town, you can see there's a bit of a weird routing for the Hemel Hempstead bound runs, because the Old Town is one way, which I didn't realise. I realise it now. In before, it's two-way for buses, and the game just is too stupid to understand that. And oh well. The 361 is also very quiet. I didn't imagine that these routes would be that busy anyway. And we've had another problem with Metro City. It's affecting 331s and 331As again. But it's fine, because it's happened in the evening. We can just do that. There we go. Rejoin that, and pretend nothing happened. I'll sort out maintenance problems that wear off camera. But coming through Redbourne, still fairly quiet. Very quiet, actually. I'm sure it'll pick up as time goes on, and connections at the Luton-Dunstable end get better. Because of course it's going to get the 160 between Luton and Dunstable. Potentially even just the 60. I've not really thought this through. All I know is there's going to be a route, and it's going to have 60 as its number between Luton and Dunstable on the old road. Old road rather than the busway. The busway is probably going to get a prefix designation. But again, that's all to be fleshed out. There's a lot to work out with Luton-Dunstable. But we are now arriving at Luton. So I think that is a good place to end it. I've been recording for a very long time. This has been a very long, very productive episode. Which is nice, because I've had shorter videos as of late, so it's nice to have a big long one. But yes, I'm going to return to the Watford garage, where we got... Actually, no, I'm going to return to the Edgware garage, because we have these StreetDecks, which are very nice. And I'm going to take the episode thumbnail. Can I get two next to each other? I would like two next to each other. There we go, two next to each other. Perfect. So yes, I will see you next week from Capital Country Busways. Bye-bye.